The Incredibles is one of my favourite animated movies and one of very few Pixar films that actually lends itself well to a sequel or a franchise. In 2004, coinciding with its release, THQ and Heavy Iron Studios unveiled The Incredibles for the PS2. Was it incredible? Well, not exactly, but it was an admirable effort and one of the best post-millennium movie tie-ins I've played. But we're not talking about this game today, unfortunately. We're talking about this one. Rise of the Underminer, a seemingly gutless cash-in on the Incredibles franchise. But saying that, the gameplay could actually be pretty engaging. Since it's developed by the same people who made the original game, it certainly has promise. So, does it live up to my incredible expectations? Oh, another Incredibles game. That's not a bad idea, actually. I did feel that some of the characters in the first game were a bit underused. You know, like Mrs. Incredible and Violet. I mean, Violet's solo level was a bit frustrating at times, but you know, she's grown as a character. It was part of her character to be so shy and nervous and less powerful. So you know, now that she's grown, I'd like to play as her again, I think. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
The rise of the Underminer! Honey, we'll go after the Underminer. You and the kids stop those drills.
Oh, see you then. Bye. Never mind then. I love how they're all so compliant. This is a man's job. Okay then, see you at the end. Okay, so you don't get to use any of the family besides Mr. Incredible, but you do get to play as Frozone. In fact, this game's main appeal is the ability to play as the two characters simultaneously, but the multiplayer aspect falls short a little. Yeah, sure, it's cool to play as Frozone. Pun intended, I'm here all week. But unfortunately, he doesn't accomplish much. You only need to switch to him when you desperately need him. Mr. Incredible is far superior a character to play as.
The Underminer's machines!
I think he's up to something down and dirty.
Hey, come on. Our private lives are our private lives and everybody's entitled to have one. Whatever Mola gets up to in his spare time is his business, and nobody else's.
Not if we stop him first!
Anyway, they at least adhere to the same format as the first game. This game carries a story on where the last one left off, but to be honest, the story seems to take a bit of a back seat in this game. And when I say back seat, I mean it's bunged in the boot and forgotten about, like some neglected puppy or something. There practically is no story. The game sees you find your way to battle a legion of robots controlled by Roly-Poly-Moly over here.
Way up high in the roly-poly sky.
Who's bent on attaining
World domination!
And he has a plan. Well, sort of. Well, not really. He at least has the evil laugh. That covers page 1 in How to Be an Evil Genius, at least.
That is the Underminer? More like underwhelming!
He just stole my payoff line. Who's the reviewer here, mate? There are constant allusions throughout the game to Underminer's plan, but it's never specified precisely what the plan is.
Time to put a wrench in the Underminer's plan.
Woohoo! Sounds like he has a plan!
What do you think they're doing in here?
Looks like they're putting the finishing coat on their insidious plot.
Or at least when it's touched on, the explanation is very vague.
What in the world is that?
It looks like that thing was created to turn the whole planet upside down.
It does? Are we looking at the same thing?
We need to catch the Underminer fast.
The Magnemizer. Whatever this thing is, it's doing whatever it's doing right now.
Well, yes. Obviously. Who wrote this? Anyway, as you've probably noticed, the dialogue is pretty damn terrible. Case in point, this scene.
Spectacular!
No! ICE-tacular!
Okay, look. If you're going to attempt a pun, at least make a bit of an effort. I mean, you know, you could have said ice one, you know, because ice sounds like nice. That works as a pun. Or that was ice cold, bro. Something along those lines. Or even cool. I mean, it's simple. You know, it works. ICE-tacular?
ICE-tacular!
ICE-tacular? That makes no sense. What?
No! ICE-tacular!
Do you know what? I love how cocksure certain he sounds when he says it. Like, it's not just ICE-tacular. It's, no, ICE-tacular. Feeling pretty good about myself.
That's pretty smart for an ice cube.
I don't get it. The gameplay isn't too bad, but it's painfully simple, and I like that they try to integrate Frozone's abilities so that they have to work together as a team, but the truth is, besides the odd moment when you need to freeze something or make a bridge, Frozone isn't always completely necessary, and it's a shame because he is the coolest of the two characters. I'll stop using that pun now, promise. Maybe. The fact is, Mr. Incredible dominates the game, which means it's not much fun as a two-player game. One person stands around freezing robots, while the other pretty much does all the legwork. And it's not much better with just one player. No matter how many prompts you give your partner, they never respond in a way you'd like them to. Often they don't respond at all. There's even a command to make your partner more aggressive, but this doesn't seem to accomplish anything. Oh, but then there are times when your partner does something completely out of the blue, ironically when you absolutely do not want them to. What the hell did you do that for? Idiot! Frozone, look, all you have to do is move to one side. It's really not that difficult a concept to grasp. Hints constantly appear on the screen, and even then the characters pretty much tell you what to do, often several times, which is odd when the game is never remotely puzzling. You don't do anything besides smash things without any knowledge of what's actually going on.
Can't get close enough to that tower! Frozone! Do something about that tower!
I might be able to freeze up the engine. I think I can freeze the tower.
I don't know why, but I've got an inkling that I need to freeze the towers. Just call it a hunch. With all this melee, it's easy to get lost and confused over what's actually happening. Fortunately though, the on-screen characters seem just as confused as you.
This place is getting dangerous!
Well, we must be doing something right.
How do we get out of here?
I don't know. Just keep smashing.
Throw one of those switches and see what they do!
Oh right, yeah, just pull every switch in this place, even if you don't know what they do. That's a good message for the kids. Ooh, I wonder what this button does.
The skies will be filled with dirt, and the sun will become a distant memory. It will turn your world upside down.
You're upside down!
The wit of this game is just too sharp for me. Okay, so from what I gather, the Underminer intends to turn the world upside down somehow, making him ruler of the newly established darkened underground world. Or something. I don't know, I don't think his plan sounds very well thought through, do you?
ICE-tacular.
Obviously that pun was so good you needed to say it again. Why let it go to waste?
You do realize that this thing might explode with us inside? Once we start smashing things?
Yes, thank you, finally. Somebody else with some sense.
It's a risk we'll have to take. Let's save the world.
Or we could negotiate. No? Okay, you just keep smashing things. Why stop now? Most annoying level. The Corruptorator. Yes, that word doesn't make any sense, but the game doesn't on the whole anyway, so who cares?
We better clear a path fast.
I actually have to give credit to this level for at least attempting something a little more diverse, shall we say, than smashing everything in sight. I mean, yeah, you do still have to smash everything in sight, but it's to make a path for these weird little growth-stunted scientists. They never talk, I don't know who the hell they are, but they seem friendly, and the problem with this level is that it's very trial and error. You don't know which barriers will catch fire and which ones hide the path to freedom, and it can get frustrating. It is also over a lot quicker with 2 players, as in single-player mode you're constantly having to switch between the characters. The easiest boss, Custodian. Okay, so it was either this or the first boss to magnemize a Guardian, but the thing that made me choose this one is the fact that this is one of the most unimaginative boss levels I've ever known. The Custodian is essentially a duplicate of a robot you've already faced countless times. You defeat him, in exactly the same way. The only difference being it takes a lot longer. It's just tedious. And its plan doesn't really make sense. Because it didn't meet its quota of creating 100 robots, it plans to detonate all of the robots it did manage to create, thus also destroying the world. Or something like that. It was kind of hard to follow. And since the game is mostly just smashing things to pieces, I didn't think it was that important. But hey, at least this guy has a plan. It might not make any sense, but it's more than can be said for roly-poly-moly over here.
He's roly-poly-oly. He's small and smart and round.
The hardest boss, the Underminer.
Witness the power of my personal Gilgan
nothing but as I destroy your so-called supers. It's over, Underminer.
Pretty much.
Yes, the last boss is the most challenging, as it should be, but it's hardly innovative. The Underminer attacks you with his drills, and after using his spin attack, he becomes dizzy, giving you the opportunity to take him out. It's your average find the weak spot gameplay, and it gets boring fast. The Underminer's attacks are very similar to the Omnidroid from the first game, although not quite as challenging or varied. Once you manage to defeat him, the family reunites, and Frozone delivers a rather subdued line of triumph.
Man, we crazy saved the world today. Cool.
Well, I guess you have to save the best pun till last. Oh. That's that then. Well, actually, that's not quite all. There are some additional bonus levels in which you have to, guess what? Yes, smash robots. Who knew that was coming? Overall, the game is probably satisfying enough for the most hardened of Incredibles fans, but the first game wasn't all about mindless violence. You often had to employ some kind of strategy or fresh method of thinking to progress in each level. The constant switching of characters between the levels also helped to vary things a little. By contrast, this game is very one-note. When it opens, it misleads you into thinking you need to work together throughout, but the truth is it's very one-sided. Okay, you do need Frozone now and again, but Mr. Incredible takes center stage for the majority of it. For what it is, it's okay. It's short and sweet, but it's not overly memorable. Decent enough for a single playthrough, but it's hardly super.
He's roly-poly-oly. He's small and smart and round. And in the land of curves and curls, he's swellest kid around.
Hey, hey. Our private lives are our private lives, and everyone is titled... Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Right. Hey now.